Alright, what's up guys? Devon back here to do the initial research show for the WGC Dell match play. This is the last year that we're going to see this event. Hopefully they do a match play, with a new sponsor, possibly at a new course, or not even necessarily a new course. This course is awesome. It's scoreable. It's fun to watch, and I love match play. I love the idea of like March Madness for golf. So I'm really looking forward to this. I already have a bet in this week. I bet on Tyrrell Hatton to win 40-1. It's pretty much almost every year Tyrrell Hatton has made it to at least the round of 16. The golf he's playing right now is awesome. So we don't have salaries right now. We also don't have the way the brackets are going to be. We have an idea of like who are in the pools. I wish I had there was a Twitter. I saw something on Twitter. Someone broke down where each who would be in each tier for placings, and I wish I could find it. I doubt I'm gonna be able to find it. Let's see. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick, and then I'll show you or talk about it. I'm not even dick around with it, but we pretty much know who the 1 seeds are gonna be for like the heads of the groups. Obviously, are Scotty, Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantlay, Max Homa, Roy McIlroy, Tony Finau, Colin Morikawa will be a 1 seed, John Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Will Zalatoris, just some names that Tyrrell Hatton will be a 1 seed as well based on guys pulling out. Notables that aren't playing: Justin Thomas is not playing this event, Justin Rose is not playing this event, and Jason Day is also not playing this event, and he's won this event twice. So he shows up in here. I just saw his name when I was scrolling down. Where was he? He's in here somewhere. Yeah, he's still in the Fantasy National pool for players, but he is not playing this week. So let's take a look at what I'm looking at this week for match play. So it's a shorter course. It's like 7,100 yards. Here's the breakdown. Lot of birdie opportunities here. Lots of eagle opportunities on these par 5s. 2 of these par 5s are over 3% eagle percentage. 16 is a 2.6% eagle percentage. So there's a lot of opportunities in par. If you're getting bogey on these holes, it's gonna be a quick day for whoever's playing that person, because they're gonna go out real quick if they're just shooting par. So it's really important to score. The scoring is different this week. It's not gonna be points for eagles or birdies. That's not gonna matter. Whatever score it is isn't gonna matter. It's just gonna matter if they win, lose, or push the hole, and that's how your scoring is going to be on Draftkings. So for the model, I have strokes gained off the tee and strokes gained approach 25% each. I have strokes gained putting 5% just because I'd like to see these guys that can get hot with a putter, can pull out some holes on guys. And if you have a hot putter and you're sinking everything, you're making birdie, par, not bogeying, saving par, that's going to be really good. So I do want to take a look at putting, even though I'm not necessarily like gung-ho about it this week. Opportunity gain 10%. It's going to be very important to get in position for eagle, for birdie, and getting those scores on the card. Birdie or better gained, I have 15%. Proximity 100 to 125, because a lot of these par 4s are shorter. A lot of guys will be hitting within that range coming in on their second shot. And I also have par 4s 350 to 400, because there's quite a few of these par 4s that fall in that yardage range. Let's see, we can look at it real quick. So Hole 1 is 394. 5 is 370. 4 is 393. 13 is 317. And 18 is 368. So it's going to be important to take advantage of those holes as well. So I already have some early leans. The model, from what I saw, kind of backs up what I think. Now we really need to see, for one, we need to see the salary tomorrow. 2, we need to see where everybody is at in the bracket. Like, for instance, I really like Tyrrell Hatton, but let's say Tyrrell Hatton and Scotty Scheffler are in 2 separate pods, right? And this probably isn't going to happen because Tyrrell Hatton's going to be like the 16th seed or 15th seed, something like that. He's going to be one of those two. I think he's either 16 or 15. 16 for sure, possibly 15. So these guys aren't going to be close. But, like, for instance, just for example, Scotty Scheffler is in pod 1 in the top left, right? So it's just like March Madness. You know, everything kind of funnels down to that last game. There's 2 sides of the bracket. So let's say Scotty Scheffler is in the first pod in the the upper left-hand corner, and Tyrrell Hatton is in the second pod right next to Scotty Scheffler. It wouldn't be optimal to pick both of those guys because if Scotty Scheffler wins his pod and Tyrrell Hatton wins his pod, they play each other in the next round. So you kind of want to get the guys that you want to get 4 guys that can move to the final 4 in each side. So you want 1 guy in the upper left quadrant, 1 in the lower left, 1 in the upper right, and 1 in the lower right. So you want 4 guys, and then you just want to sprinkle in the opportunity of, like, so it'll be like 4 pods in the left upper quadrant, 4 pods in the lower left, 4 pods in the upper right, and 4 pods in the lower right. So you want like 4 that are for sure going to make your final 4. But then you want to get like 2 guys that could possibly get to like the Elite 8, so to speak. That can meet like one of your guys that you have going into the final 4 in that last match. That's going to be optimal. So it's really going to depend on what the bracket looks like and what salaries are going to look like. But what I can say, the 2 guys at the top of this model, Scotty Scheffler and Tyrrell Hatton, are 2 guys that I really like. Scotty won this last year. Scotty has been playing really well. As you can see, he's 3rd in opportunities gained. He's 6th in birdie or better, 4th on approach, 2nd off the tee. So his ball striking has just been insane, and if he can get that putter really hot, I mean, Scotty can sail through these guys. But it's also going to depend on who's in their pod. You don't want to draw a tough guy lower down. Like, for instance, I don't think Cameron Young would be a 1 seed. He might be in the top 16 in the world golf ranking, but if he is, then. But for instance, like a guy that would be in tier 2, that would be kind of tough. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I'm just guessing here. Not Will Zalatoris. Maybe Hideki. Minwoo Lee would be a tough one, probably. Guys like Matt Kuchar are always tough because Kuchar has a really good match play record. Is Kevin Kisner in this field? He is. Kevin Kisner is a tough one, too. Kevin Kisner is really good at match play. Finished 2nd here last year. He's won the event as well. He's a tough draw for anybody. So, like, I wouldn't want to see Kevin Kisner or Matt Kuchar in a pod with, like, Scotty Scheffler or Tyrrell Hatton. That would suck. That would make me feel really bad about it. But, so those are 2 lower guys that you got to watch out for. But, yeah, I really like Scotty Scheffler and Tyrrell Hatton. They're both doing this, like, pretty much the same thing. Really good off the tee, really good on approach, good at gaining opportunities, good at birdie or better, and they both can get hot with the putter. So I really like both those guys. Not really looking at Victor Hovland. Cantlay possibly. I mean, he's 1st off the tee, 2nd on birdie or better, 6th on opportunities gained. So Cantlay's an interesting one. I'll start him. Pass on Homa might be good for this. His stats look really good as well. Second on approach, 19th off the tee, 6th with the putter, 11th in birdies are better, 17th in the proximity 100, 125. So I'd like Homa. Just depends on where his draw is and who's in his pod. Cameron Young is a guy I really like. His ball striking has been insane recently. Really, his biggest bugaboo is his putter. But otherwise, I mean, he's 5th off the tee, 17th on approach, 4th in opportunities gained, 20th in birdies are better. I could see him doing well in this event, so I like him. Tony Finau, I don't know, man. He pops off the page, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Tony Finau. Sung J M would be interesting because I mean we see Sung J when he gets like in these tournaments. It seems like every time he makes a cut and he doesn't look like he's doing well, he makes big moves on Saturday. So Sung J can get hot and he can win some matches. So I would like Sung J. Just depends on where he's at, who he's in a pod with, and where he falls in line with like other guys that I like. Davis Riley would be interesting. He's probably going to be like the 4th seeded person in a group. Number 1 in opportunities gained, 3rd in proximity 100, 125. I believe he's from Texas as well, so might have some experience at this golf course. So I would like Davis Riley. It just depends on who he's in a pod with. If I think he could, upset the people in his pod, and if he's not falling in line with like some of my guys that I have going to the Final Four. Let's see who else. Not really interested in Ricky. Not really interested in Shane Lowry. Chris Kirk could be interesting here. Siwoo doesn't have a good record because he went 0-3 2 years, but I believe last year he went 2-1. So he would be interesting. He's a guy that can get really hot. He can, so Siwoo's interesting. Pass on Keegan. Pass on Mitchell. Morikawa, I think it was maybe last year, went 3-0 in his group, but his putter, it really scares me, and his off the tee hasn't been that well recent. So think about pass on Morikawa. John Rahm has he won this, or he was runner up? I know he was runner up one year for sure. But John Rahm, I mean, obviously really good. I would like him. Speed could be really good in match play as well. Could get hot. I like that. Someone I'm really going to be looking at here is Tom Hoagie, especially with like the shorter par 4s. Good with his wedges, good with his irons. His putter is really what's going to make or break him. So I wouldn't mind Tom Hoagie as like a cheaper option to get out of his pod and possibly upset a big guy. Xander Schauffele is interesting. I mean, his numbers kind of just pop off. He's just not been really good off the tee, but everything else looks great. So I like Xander. Denny McCarthy is interesting because he's the best putter we have on tour. He hasn't played this before, but he's playing really good golf right now, and you could see him, knock one of these big guys off in a pod. He's been playing really well, so I like Denny there too as a cheap option. Pass on Hideki. I'll pass on Zalatoris. Svensson with these shorter courses, I really like him. I could see him upsetting some guys. I liked him at the Players, and I made the mistake of playing Davis Riley over Adam Svensson in my single entry lineups, and I felt sad about it, even though I tossed back and forth between those guys for like 2 days, and I made the wrong pick. So I do like Svensson here. Another guy I really like in match play and at a shorter course is Tom Kim. We've seen what he did at the President's Cup. It's really just going to be, can he get the putter going? But I do like him here. Tommy Fleetwood playing really well. I'm actually freaking keeping track right now. I'm sweating Fleetwood and Spieth at the top of the leaderboard at Valspar, and Fleetwood just fell to 4th. Sick. He just bogeyed a par 5. So, yeah, Tommy, interesting. I'm not too sure. Jason Day's not going to be playing. I really like Min Woo Lee, especially the way he played at the Players. I could see him knocking off some guys. depending on where he's at, who he's got in a pod with him. I really like Minwoo. Kucher is interesting just because he has the really good match play record, shorter course, something he could attack. So I do like Kucher. Any other guys down here? Bazadenhout's terrible at match play. Cameron Davis showed us old Cameron Davis last week at the Players, so that's interesting, but I think I'll pass on him. Billy Horschel's typically good in match play, but he has just seemed really off recently, so I probably wouldn't get to him. Adam Scott, maybe. Victor Perez made a deep run one year. He'll be an interesting cheap option. And then Kisner's always interesting because he just seemed match play, man. He gets up for match play. Maverick McNeely had I believe he had a 2-on record last year, and he ended up not making it out of his pod, which was unfortunate. So he's kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, this is just quick, you know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to make real like solid picks right now because we just don't know what the bracket's going to look like, who's in whose pod. That's really what's going to matter, and we'll go over that tomorrow in the Draftkings show. We'll have the bracket, we'll have the pricing. So, yeah. But right now, got 3 guys that I really like right now are Scotty Scheffler, Tyrrell Hatton, and Cameron Young. Those are the 3 guys I really like, and I really hope they're in 3 different quadrants, and I can play all 3 of them and get them into the Final Four. That'd be awesome. But again, it could end up to where 2 of these guys run into each other early, and you have to build optimally. And with match play, you can't pick 2 guys in the same pod. You can't pick 2 guys that are going to play each other directly in the second round. You need to have 4 guys that you really think could make the Final Four and go all the way, and then 2 guys that will meet 2 of those 4 guys in the Elite 8 matchups and get knocked out there. But it's going to be really hard. There's going to be big upsets. There's going to be guys that go down that don't make it out of their pod. You could see Rory McIlroy not making it out of his pod. You could see Jon Rahm not making it out of his pod. You could see Scotty Scheffler not make it out of his pod. It's just who shows up that day and plays better. And then you also have to remember this event starts on Wednesday. Each golfer plays the other 3 guys in their pod once. That'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then if they make it out of their pod, they play their next round on Saturday. If they win that matchup, they play the next round on Saturday as well. So they're going to be playing 18 holes twice on Saturday. If they make it through all of that, they'll play Sunday morning. And if they win that matchup, they'll play again Sunday afternoon for the finals and for the winner. So you could see guys playing, 72, how many holes is that? Fucking 72, 36, 108. You could see guys playing over 100 rounds of golf this week if they make it all the way. So just remember it starts on Wednesday. Remember to come back tomorrow for the DraftKings shows tomorrow night to really go over we'll go over the bracket, we'll go over the optimal build, and hopefully Scotty Scheffler, Tyrrell Hatton, and Cameron Young aren't in the same pod. So if this helped you guys out, leave a like, leave a comment. Who's your favorite to win the event? Who do you think could pull it out? And I'll see you guys in the DraftKings show with a more in-depth analysis on everything tomorrow night. I also might release a research show for Corrales. This week we also have an alternate event, Corrales Punta Cana. Got some big names over there. Brandon Wu. You got, seen Wyndham Clark was in the field over there. So we'll probably do a show a little later. I just got to go out and do some yard work. I figured I'll do this, let this upload, and then come back later tonight and do that video, do some research on that. So, all right, good luck, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night for the DraftKings show to really go over the bracket and finalize our picks.